Oh, hey there. Are you looking for games with a local co-op campaign? Well, this video is exactly about that. By the way, check out my affiliate links to the games in the description. I mean, only if you want to. Let's start with number 15, Infernax. The game is a retro-styled Metroidvania where you play as Alcidor, a knight who comes back to his home and finds it full of evil magic and monsters. The Do or Die update added a local co-op mode where player 2 controls Servul, the squire. The game gets harder when you play in co-op with more enemies and traps. You also share coins and have different purchase options. You can revive each other at save shrines. Infernax has different endings, so you have to make some choices along the way. The campaign lasts around 6 hours. Next is Arise, A Simple Story. This game lets you play with time and change the environment around you. For example, you can make the sun rise, set, freeze, and unfreeze the water. This affects the puzzles and obstacles as you explore different memories, which is the game's plot, and the campaign lasts around 4 hours. In co-op mode, the second player controls the time, but you can swap roles whenever you want. Trine 4. The Nightmare Prince is about 3 heroes who have to find a prince and stop his shadows from ruining the world. Each hero can do different things that help you solve the puzzles, which are different depending on how many people are playing. The game also has some fights with enemies who show up every now and then between the 18 levels. The campaign takes about 10 hours to beat. Trine 5 was announced but not released when I made this list, so if you're watching this in the future and the game is good, it's also a great option. In Resident Evil, Revelations 2, you play co-op for 2 players with 4 characters. Claire and Barry are the main ones who shoot and fight the enemies, and Moira and Natalia are their sidekicks who help them with their skills. Moira has a flashlight and a crowbar, and Natalia can see hidden items and throw bricks at enemies. The game is about Claire and Barry trying to get off a remote island, where they are taken by a mysterious woman known as the Overseer. It takes about 10 hours to beat the game. Streets of Rage 4 is a beat-em-up game where you fight some enemies with your friends in local co-op. You can play as new and old characters from the series, over 20 in total. Some of them are from the old games you can unlock with stars or the Mr. X Nightmare DLC. I love this game because it's fun to try different characters and their moves, and it has 4 levels of difficulty and some cool secrets that I'm not going to tell you because they are secrets. You can beat the campaign in about 3 hours, and it supports up to 4 players. Stop an invasion of giant alien insects, robots, and primers. That's what Earth Defense Force 5 is all about. The co-op mode for 2 players is a blast and a mess. There are over 100 missions, over 1,000 weapons to collect and upgrade, and 4 soldier classes and vehicles to use in some missions. You can change the difficulty level and friendly fire option and revive each other if you get knocked down. The main story takes about 28 hours to finish. Earth Defense Force 6 came out in Japan last year. However, we still don't know when it will come out worldwide until now, though you can still buy the digital version from the Japanese PSN store or import the physical disc and play it if you want. Next is Outward, an open-world RPG with survival elements. You have to watch your stats, or you can suffer from conditions like cold, disease, or even indigestion. If you run out of health, you can face consequences like being captured or rescued. You can play with a friend on split screen, but only the host player gets quest-exclusive rewards from the host player's faction. The second player needs to use a different profile, do the tutorial first, and save their game before joining you. This way, they can keep their character and gear. The game has 7 main quests that change depending on which of the 4 factions you join. It easily takes more than 30 hours to finish all the main quests. Children of Morta is an action RPG with roguelite elements. By roguelite elements, I mean that the game creates random levels, enemies, and items every time you play, but there is no permadeath. You only lose the items and gold you found in the dungeon, but keep your experience and skills. You can spend the gold you got before dying to upgrade your family and home. You play as different members of the Bergson family, who are the protectors of the Mountain Morta, and you have to stop the corruption from spreading. The game supports 2 players, and the campaign is around 14 hours long. LEGO games are awesome for local co-op because they are humorous and have a lot of jokes and references to different movies and franchises they are based on. They are also easy to play, and you can change between a lot of characters and use their abilities to solve puzzles. There are a lot of LEGO games out there. Still, my favorite is LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, which lets you play through all 9 Star Wars movies and explore the galaxy however you want. You can finish the whole story in about 18 hours, and it supports 2 players. Sackboy. A big adventure follows Sackboy's adventure to stop the villain Vex from turning Craftworld into a nightmare. You can team up with up to 3 players and have fun collecting stuff that lets you access more levels and dress up your Sackboy. It is not just about jumping and running though. You also get to face bosses, time trials, and races and play mini-games. The game has levels divided into 6 worlds, and it takes about 10 hours to finish the story. A Way Out was developed by Hazelight Studios, a company expert in games that require teamwork and communication. You play Leo and Vincent, 2 guys who want to escape prison. The game has different gameplay mechanics, like stealth, action, driving, and minigames. What you do and say in the game changes the story and how things go down, like when you have to rob a gas station and you can be aggressive or subtle. The game takes about 6 hours to finish. Diablo IV follows the return of Lilith, who wants to take over the world of Sanctuary, and you have to stop her. You can play the first 3 acts in any order you want, and the 4th act is unlocked after completing the other 3. You can also roam around the open world. There are lots of things to do, like events, quests, dungeons, bosses, and loot. The game lets you pick from 5 classes with their skills, talents, and ways to customize them. The campaign can take around 30 hours to beat and supports local co-op for 2 players. Next up, we have the longest campaign in this list, Divinity Original Sin 2. This game will keep you busy for about 59 hours. It's a turn-based RPG where the story changes based on your choices and actions. The story is about a sorcerer who breaks out of a prison island and tries to become the next divine. On top of that, Divinity Original Sin 2 has features like character creation, skill customization, and environmental interactions. It also has a rich world and characters with tons of lore that you can find out by exploring, talking, and reading. It supports 2 players in co-op mode. As a Vault Hunter, you have to stop the Calypso twins and their bandit army from taking over the galaxy in Borderlands 3. You can pick from 4 characters. You can also customize your weapons and items with a loot system that gives you millions of options, and that is one of the main features that makes Borderlands addictive. The main story takes about 23 hours to beat, but counting the side missions, challenges, raids, and arenas will keep you busy for much more. The co-op in Borderlands 3 supports 2 players on PS4 and 4 on PS5. Like A Way Out, It Takes Two is another game from Hazelight Studios. This game is about a married couple who get turned into dolls by their daughter's magic and have to work on their relationship. What makes It Takes Two special is that each level has new co-op mechanics and challenges and unique themes. It also has a lot of fun stuff to do, like mini-games and side activities that you can find and play together. The campaign takes about 13 hours, and you have to listen to this talking book along the way.
Your opinion?
I'd like to add some bonus games to the list. Spiritfarer is a management game about a fairymaster called Stella who has to guide spirits to the afterlife in the company of her cat. Cuphead is a hard but fun game to play in co-op. The screen can get chaotic, but at least you can revive each other when you die. And lastly, the Supermassive Games, the makers of scary cinematic games like the Dark Pictures Anthology series and The Quarry. You can play these games in local co-op, as each player chooses their character and grab the controller on their respective characters' turns. That's it for this video. This was a personal list made by me. Remember to watch other videos, like the one you see on the screen, with 2-player games available on PS Plus Extra. I hope this is useful if you're looking for games to play with someone else. If you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.